Hello, Shah. I am on. Nope.
Hey, Stephanie. Good
How are you
morning.
today?
I'm doing excellent.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yep. I tell you, I cannot, I am, you know, every late winter or early spring, there comes a point where you just say you're fed up with all the snow. And I reached my point on Monday morning. I was fed up with it. I don't want to see snow anymore. Anyway, I just wait. Toronto, you know, Toronto will be 15 degrees this Saturday.
Sounds like you need a road trip.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's every day. You know, you go out. You know, you wrap yourself like a sausage. You know, to go out. You know, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know for sure.
Yeah. So officially on Monday morning, February 28th, I just had enough.
That's fine. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So good thing about it is we're moving the clock forward to Sunday.
So it's going to be dark again, I think. Spring
in the morning,
forward.
but
It'll be,
yeah,
it'll be
but the thing is that the days are getting longer, right?
they are. That is true.
Yeah. So it's
Okay.
nice to see you again, Stephanie.
Likewise. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So for all the audience out there, as usual, please let us know where you're listening, where you're from right now, that you're watching this webinar today. So let us know, and let us know if there are any first-time listener that join us today. But today we're gonna have a very informative session, and we will start in 5 minutes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. So I'm curious, do people pre-register for this session or do they just sort of show up?
No, they have to be pre-registered.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, they cannot just show up because once they register, they'll get the
The invitation.
the link to come online.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So so this is we haven't let's see, yeah. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes people come online a bit late, but it depends on, you know. So okay, good.
Excellent.
Good morning, Nick. Yeah.
So you'll be passing the control over to me when the presentation starts?
It's up. I think you. Oh, by the way, so Stephanie, are you gonna share your screen sorry, are you gonna share your presentation from your screen?
Yes, I would like to do that.
Okay, good. So I have
okay.
a few slides I'm gonna use to intro. Once I'm done, I will stop sharing, and then you can start sharing. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, everyone, we're gonna get started now. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are around the world. My name is Shaw. I am the Vice President of Global Outreach at G-TAC. G-TAC, for those of you who is not familiar with, it stands for Global Talent Alliance Canada. We are definitely one of your foremost digital platform provider and on anything and everything related to employment here in Canada. So no matter where you are watching from around the world, across the country or around the world, or whether you will listen to your loyal listener or viewer of our all our webinars, or you're watching this for the first time, thank you for joining us today. And today we have a very, very, very special guest to talk about a very, very special topic regarding, actually this topic is relating to a course that we'll be introducing very, very soon. Okay, so in case you're watching this for the first time or you're not familiar with G-TAC, so we present all these a series of live webinars, at least 2 live webinars each week. Last month, we actually exactly a month ago, we actually introduced for the first time a webinar entirely in French. And this is because of your requirement. And what I understand, there's a lot of people out there that's from the Francophone countries. So this is great. And hopefully we'll introduce more various webinar depending on the needs. And then we'll do it in either English or in French. We also, every Thursday, we do employment connections. So we invite employers to come and talk every Thursday on the Meet an Employer sessions, as well as we provide various training. As I mentioned earlier, is career focused training. These trainings are definitely relevant to your career here in Canada. We also do placement services, so we help our clients find work with employer partners that we work with. And finally, we will be hosting our 11th National Online Job Fair on April 5th and 6th. So all these I'll talk a little bit more as we move the slide down. So today's presentation is about business analysis creates career opportunities. Okay, so those of you who is not familiar with what business analysis is, don't worry. Over the next hour, you will learn a lot more, and you can also ask us questions. So the presentation will be about, I don't know, Stephanie, how long is your presentation about?
45 minutes, maybe an hour tops. I think it really depends if there's questions and how much talking I want to do.
Yeah, okay. So Stephanie will do the presentation, and after that, we will go to the Q&A session. So by all means, please put your questions in the chat box. As usual, today's entire presentation will be in English. For all our friends out there that are French speaking, by all means, you can still put your questions in French, and I will try to translate them as much as I can, or you can just try to translate it, use whatever translation tools that you have currently available on your computer or your laptop. Okay, so let's get going. As you can see, our presenter today is Stephanie Lachman-Doucet. There you go. There she is. She's a dynamic individual with experience driving organizational growth and efficiencies through the skillful design, development, deployment, and support of mission-critical business processes and information systems. Now, I'm not going to mention in terms of how many years Stephanie of experience Stephanie have, because that could accidentally reveal other things that she might not want to share with other people. I know for sure I don't like to share. Anyway, so her experience expands numerous roles and a multitude of technologies. Okay, so so she's been she revealed herself. Okay, 30 years experience. So she started when she was 5. Okay, and and Stephanie has developed expertise in enterprise architecture, business process transformation, business analysis, business intelligence or BI, business analytics, and application development. She's skilled in all phases, disciplines, and issues related to system development, the delivery and support of shared services, IT operations, and IT project program management. Wow. She's got years, as you can see, a wealth of experience, and she will be the instructor, the trainer, or the teacher for this course that she's about to mention later. Okay, so as I said before, is G-TAC has been around for over 15 years, and we are the trusted partner for various organizations for their talent attraction and to build awareness. Because as you know, Canada is a multi-cultural society, so awareness means that people have to be understanding about diverse culture, because I can see right now most of our listeners today are from countries all around the world. So when you come to Canada, when you work in a company, not only you need to do what the technically skill set that you need from the employer, but you also need to work with a team that is currently in place. So, it's cultural awareness is quite important, and we also teach that as well. We work with partners all across the country with over 400 employer partners. That's probably a very conservative estimate. And we also work with municipalities, regional development corporations, as well as government, right? So for those of you that actually attended our webinar last month, you'll see that we actually did promotion on behalf of our partner with the government of New Brunswick. So webinar, it's always about job readiness, resume, interview, how to sharpen your online presence, how to find hidden job market. For those of you that attended my session last Thursday, we talk about how to discover, how to find the hidden job market, as well as what are some of the skills needed. Depends, because a lot of you are probably wanting to come to Canada, but you're not sure what city to settle in. Well, maybe you want to, I guess the start is maybe you want to settle in a city where your skill set are in demand. right? So that would be a good start. So we also provide you with the latest LMI, labor market information, in terms of what sector and what destination specific that you want. And of course, we will have meet the employers every Thursday, and then a lot of the employer come with some exclusive job posting. Not only that, is also give you like 2 weeks ago when Tangerine was there, they actually welcome everyone to connect with them. So right away, you establish your network here in Canada. So this is just some of the jobs that we, some of the training courses that we are introducing. First one is Project Approach and Agile. So it's all about understanding the fundamental differences between traditional and agile approaches, recognize the nuance between Scrum, Kanban, MVP, and SAFE. Okay, and finally, come away with the foundation so that you can speak with confidence during your job interview. Now, Stephanie can definitely talk more about that later in terms of why you need this, because I can tell you right now, just about every single IT company I talk to are using Agile methodology, so, but I will leave that to the expert to talk more. This course, all courses are online. It's from Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Okay, Eastern time, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So for this course, there's 6 hours, so only for three sessions. Okay, so not only that is a lot of one of the perks about working with when you take our courses is you also get to talk, have a session with someone like me or someone on my team to do a career counseling session as well. So this is all the bonuses for taking courses offered by G-TAC. Another one is business analysis. This is something that I will definitely let Stephanie talk about that. There are 8 hours of training divided into 4 2-hour sessions. Again, it's Monday, it's 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's every Monday and Wednesday. As you can see right now, the next course will start on April the 4th. Yeah, April the 4th, the 6th, the 11th, and the 13th. Okay, so that's, if you're interested, by all means, please send to song.g@g-tac.ca. song.g@g-tac.ca. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna put that email in the chat box. Okay, so you can see. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be hosting our 11th National Virtual Career Expo on April the 5th and 6th. So anyone that's legally entitled to work in Canada are encouraged to register. You can go to our website, g-tac-expo.com. Registration is open right now. So without further ado, I would like to pass I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and I will let Stephanie set up her screen, and I'm going to pass over the mic to Stephanie. Okay, Stephanie, the mic is yours.
Okay, so I presume everybody can see my screen. Shaw, can you give me a thumbs up? Excellent.
Yep.
So thanks for that glowing introduction. It's my pleasure to be working with Shaw and Ying and Song and the whole crew again. They're a wonderful group of people, and I've been working with Ying since about 2007. So it's been a long relationship, and I've had a great time with it. So in today's session, we're going to be talking about business analysis and how it really opens up the doors to many different career opportunities. It's not just a single career path. Like, this is a launch to many, many opportunities that you can have. And as Shaw mentioned, I'm teaching actually that business analysis class and the project management, the project approaches class, because I do view them as being intensely interconnected. As a business analyst, you need to know how to work in every kind of environment there is. So you need that flexibility. We're going to be talking a lot about flexibility and what it means to be a business analyst in the session today. All right, so we're going to be talking about what is business analysis and who is a business analyst. I feel that a lot of people are confused. They think that if I don't have the job title, then I'm not doing the skill. But that's so far from the truth. In my opinion, everybody is a business analyst. So once we get that out of the way, then we're going to talk about what does a business analyst actually do on the job. And when is business analysis performed? Because it's not just a single isolated event in a project. There's many different skills at many different points in time of a project. So we'll be talking about what it is that they do, when do they do it, and then we'll also talk about the domains in which they practice. And by that, I mean sort of industries and disciplines and specialties. There was a whole list of specialties in my profile. Well, there can be a whole list of specialties in your profile as well. Once we cover that, we're going to talk about some of the potential career paths. I can't go through them all. There's infinite number of possibilities, but we will talk about what's possible. We'll also talk about certifications. Certifications are everywhere in the market. You need to figure out which one is right for you and actually whether or not you really need it at all. Finally, we'll wrap it up with an understanding of personal competencies. Look inside yourself and see if you have that potential to be an amazing analyst. And then what are the next steps for you if you decide this is where you want to go? Let's start with what is business analysis. This is defined by the International Institute of Business Analysis as the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining the needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. They go on to say that business analysis enables an enterprise to articulate the needs and rationale for change and to design and describe solutions that can deliver value. Now, that's a pretty complex concept. We're going to break it down bit by bit so that you can really understand what is business analysis. There's 8 key components. The first one is about enabling change in the organization. This could be procedural change, introduction of new software, introduction of a new relationship with a new business partner. A lot of people think that business analysis is all about IT systems and requirements. But business analysis is about any change in the organization. Business analysts are really change drivers, change motivators, change enablers. The next is understanding that it's dealing with an enterprise. A business analyst can work within the scope of a team or a directorate or a product line, or it can work within the collaboration of all of the business partners and suppliers and the organizational network that is supporting that business. The scope of a business analyst is very broad or can be very narrow. They are also about defining needs. You have to understand what it is that people want. What are they looking for? What's wrong with today's situation, today's environment, and what are they trying to achieve? That's where it comes to recommending solutions. Looking at what's wrong, looking at what could be, and talking about how are you going to get there? How do you migrate from your current state to your future state where you have everything that you're needing? And of course, it's all about delivering value to stakeholders. Whether those chances are those stakeholders are inside your organization, but you may have stakeholders that are outside your organization, perhaps partners, perhaps suppliers, perhaps that organization that's working down the street that could be impacted by something your company is doing. So you need to understand all of the stakeholders affected by the change and the value and the impact that it's going to have on them. Stakeholders. We've already talked a lot about the stakeholders. Now, it's important to understand what is the change, but why are you making the change? What's the motivation? Look for that rationale, understand that rationale, because sometimes when you're in the thick of something and you're trying to figure out priorities, you got to come back to why are we doing this? What's important? And then once you've figured all those things, then you design and describe the solutions that are going to help you get there. Those are the key 8 elements of what is associated with business analysis. So now that we've talked about that, think about who is a business analyst. It is any person who performs business analysis activities, no matter their job title or organizational role. So I want you to think about that for a bit. I'm wondering, let's take another little peek at that here. They analyze and they synthesize information from a variety of sources within an enterprise, including tools, processes, documentation, and stakeholders. So it's anybody that's performing analysis, anybody that's analyzing information. Do you think there's anybody that meets that definition other than somebody with the business analyst title? And the truth is, most roles within an organization are implementing, applying, performing business analysis skills. Let's take a look at it. These are the ones that are initially defined within that business analysis body of knowledge defined by the International Institute of Business Analysis. I'll make a quick note here. The BABOK, that is akin to the Business Analysis Instruction Manual. It outlines all of the, well, most of the tools and techniques that business analysts apply commonly in the job. I can't say it applies all of the techniques because new techniques are invented all of the time. And depending upon your context, which area of practice you specialize in, you may apply different techniques. But most of the techniques are outlined in this BABOK, Business Analysis Body of Knowledge. And so in the BABOK, they identify a number of roles that are typically associated with business analysis. So if you're looking at one of these particular jobs that has this as their title, chances are you are a business analyst or you will be a business analyst. And I know there's a lot of people that sort of say proudly, I'm a data analyst, I'm not a business analyst. Well, guess what? You're both. And likewise, there's system analysts that say, I don't deal with requirements. Well, guess what? You're a business analyst too, because you're defining data models, you're defining information flows, and that needs to be documented and a design document. And guess what? Those are business analysis actions. And then there's all of these other types of roles in an organization that, in my opinion, are also applying business analysis skills, business analysis approaches. Whether you're a project manager or a tester or a solution architect, or even somebody in a traditional business function like finance or marketing or HR, we're all analyzing information. We're all looking for ways to process it and make things more efficient and more effective and devise solutions. We are all business analysts. And that's why it's important for you to realize that regardless of your job title, regardless of your role, everybody is a business analyst. Everybody is applying some subset of this skill. And really, it's what's in the job title anyway. If you have analyst in your title, yes, chances are you're doing some business analysis. But just because you don't have it in your title doesn't mean you're not applying the skill. Okay, so as I've already promoted here, everybody, in my opinion, is doing business analysis. And it's really just a difference in the training and experience. Yes, I've got many decades of experience, but there's some people out there that are just getting started and they're green, but they could become very efficient, very effective business analysts if they take the training and they practice. It's really just as simple as that. Take some training, read, learn, study, and apply. There's no good for you if you take a course, forget about it, and go on doing things your own way. You have to practice and apply. So one thing I do want you to take away from this is that business analysis is a skill set and business analyst is a job title. Regardless of your job title, you are applying the business analysis skill set in the work that you do. So what is it that a business analyst actually does during the day? There's about 6 different basic areas, knowledge areas, and tasks that a business analyst will perform. The first one is identified as business analysis planning and monitoring. I should prefix the fact that these knowledge areas are as defined by the International Institute of Business Analysis. If you have studied with another organization or perhaps studied through a university, you may know them slightly differently, but these are the ones that I will be teaching when I teach the course, because this is what I am certified in. And this is what makes sense to me, actually. I do have certifications from 2 different organizations in business analysis, one from IIBA and one from the Project Management Institute. And I do find that the IIBA certification is more wholesome, more complete, and provides me a better foundation that I can apply in many different domains. So just getting back to this, business analysis, planning, and monitoring is that ability to plan the work that you're doing. As an analyst, you need to understand the scope, understand who your stakeholders are, figure out what it is that you need to do, when you need to do it, how are you going to engage your stakeholders, what are the risks and issues, and how are you going to manage information? For anybody in the audience that might have a little bit of experience with project management, this is the project management of being a business analyst. This is the project management of managing yourself to make sure that you can complete your analysis activities in time with the quality expectation that your supervisor or the organization requires, that you provide them with the information that they need in a way that they can use it again. So this is taking those other skills that you may have and applying it to move forward in the analysis activity. The next task or knowledge area is elicitation and collaboration. This is about working with people and gathering the information that you need to answer those questions, working with the stakeholders, understanding what their needs are, knowing how to gather, sort of extract the information, gain their support so that they're willing to share their needs and requirements with you. The next area is managing requirements through their life cycle. Everybody thinks BAs manage requirements. Yes, they do. That's not all we do, but it's a piece of it. So you gather requirements, you record requirements, you manage the requirements as they change over the course of their life cycle, and then you come to the end of a release. Yay, that requirement's done, but guess what? The client wants it in a different way, so now you have a change request for the next release. This is managing the requirement life cycle, understanding when a requirement is born, as it lives, and then, hey, it gets deprecated because there's new technology coming. Requirements are not short lifespan. They have a duration, and it's important that you manage requirements through that duration. The next piece is strategy analysis. This is that visionary thinking about where could the organization go? How could this particular problem be resolved? This is where you put on your thinking cap and get creative. Then there's the requirements analysis and design definition. This is also, like requirements lifecycle management, this is the nuts and bolts about being a BA. It's how to look at the information, how to model the processes, how to model the data flows, how to model the APIs for the information that needs to flow back and forth. This is perhaps the most technical element of being a BA. It may be the area that scares those of you that are not technically oriented individuals right now, but don't worry, it's not that hard. If you are an analytical thinker and you figure out how processes work and you can figure out groups of information, business analysis is about taking that and presenting it, drawing it in a way that makes sense to average business people. You don't need to have a technical background to be successful as an analyst. Yes, you need to have analytical thinking skills, but you don't need to be a programmer. You don't need to be a DBA. You need to know how to think in an analytical way so that you can draw the requirements, draw the models, draw the illustrations, the prototypes in a way that makes sense to the business people and the technical people. Finally, solution evaluation. This is the one that comes kind of at the end of the project when you're looking at saying, well, did we actually meet our requirements anyway? Now, although there's 6 knowledge areas, 6 tasks, they're not performed in a linear manner. This illustration helps you see that they're all interconnected, which means that when you're doing elicitation, you're thinking about strategy, you're thinking about how are we going to evaluate this, And you're thinking about your schedule to say, how are we going to put this all together? And when you're looking at requirements and you're trying to model it, once again, you're thinking about strategy, you're thinking about the solution. All of these areas are so interconnected. It's almost like a web. Now, of those 6 knowledge areas, which one are you going to use the most? Which one is it really important that you understand? IIBA recently did a survey of business analysts, and this is how they answered. They said, I spend most of my day, 86% of people said they spend the most of their day doing elicitation, talking to stakeholders, understanding what's important to them. After that, yes, you need to know how to analyze and design the requirements, okay. And then after that, planning. So key things, key skills for BA, how to talk to people, how to model the information, and then how to plan it and structure the work that they're going to be doing. Now, when is business analysis performed? A lot of people think, well, it's at the beginning of the project, they do some analysis, they gather some requirements, and then it gets pushed off to development. Not quite so. Business analysis is performed in all different types of projects, whether you're talking about a traditional waterfall project, a spiral project, or something that's a little bit more agile, like Scrum or Kanban or SAFe or the Scrum Banner. There's all kinds of variations of projects out there. But business analysis happens everywhere in all operations and all functions and all projects. As we said, all of those different roles. So you might, at the beginning, before a project happens, you're going to be doing a little bit of strategic analysis to figure out what are we trying to get out of this. While the project is going on, you're going to be doing that requirements analysis and design. You're going to be doing some elicitation. You're going to be doing a little bit more planning and monitoring and solution evaluation. And then you come here to solution evaluation again. So it's all of the bits and pieces that need to happen in order to make the business project a success are happening iteratively throughout the life. Now, if you thought that business analysis was only working in the IT domain, guess what? There's many different domains in which a BA may practice. It started with information technology. Okay, we need some new hardware, we need some new software, we need a new app. That's fine. That's the one that's most traditionally understood as business analysis. And then there's having to fix the business processes. Everybody says, oh, this process is cumbersome. We need a BA to help us figure it out. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. We all know that business analysts are getting involved in the Agile domain, whether it's Agile software development or Agile process evolution. And hey, this whole COVID thing happened and business analysts were very agile to repivot a lot of different business models. And that requires an element of business architecture. BAs need to understand how the strategy feeds the process requirements and the data requirements and the system requirements and the marketing requirements and the finance requirements. And all of this comes together as business architecture. Business intelligence, business analytics, these go hand in hand. Business intelligence is looking at the data of the operations of the business and looking backward to see, well, where have we been? What have we done? How did things go in the past? Business analytics is looking forward and saying, based upon what we've done in the past, what can we predict might happen next quarter and next year? And it's also thinking about, well, what do we need to change in the model today? How do we need to adapt our operations today to achieve that goal that we're looking for? So business intelligence and analytics, once again, work together. And then there's cybersecurity, which is on that periphery of everything, making sure the data stays safe, the information stays safe within the organization. Now, career paths. What are you going to do once you get that BA role? Your possibilities are literally endless. There's ways that you can evolve as a data modeler, data analyst, data scientist, or you could evolve into enterprise architecture, or just stay as a BA. You may want to evolve along the product management route or the customer experience route, or get deeper into cybersecurity. Really, the number of possibilities it really is very flexible. And I'm I guess the more I learn about business analysis, the more I realize how much of a core skill it is that opens up so many doors. A lot of people, and I used to think this, that like you get on, you have your junior level position, then your intermediate, and then your senior, and then your executive, and I'm climbing that career ladder. Well, it's not really a clear ladder anymore. It really is kind of a jungle gym, and business analysis opens that door. You can go sort of more and more advanced positions within the same company, or you can go lateral positions within a different company, or you can hop around from project to project to project. You can become self-employed, a lot of different things that you can do. You can take your industry experience that you have today and flip that around and become a consultant back to the same industry. A lot of different potential, but you need those foundational skills: how to talk with people, how to analyze their environment, how to make recommendations, how to plan. Just as a quick reference here, 65% of business analyst professionals report being involved in digital initiatives. Well, I think the number is probably higher than that, but that's what the survey said. 36% of respondents are involved in business data analytics. That is a growing field. If you're looking for something that's going to go exponential over the next decade or two, get involved with data analytics. Cybersecurity is another area where there is tremendous growth. And of course, many people have been involved with the COVID and reinventing business processes, reinventing online applications. You have to be able to pivot. This is about sort of that agile mindset of being able to adapt, change your mode quickly, change your thought processes quickly, and keep going. For those of you that are curious, yes, there's a bunch of training that you can take. And you can take training from G-TAC, from me, from Udemy, from Learning Tree. There's lots of courses out there. But what you need to think about is look at the job descriptions that you want. Are they looking for certification? A lot of companies, a lot of jobs are now asking for certification. And the question is, do you want it? Do you need it? Well, we'll answer some of those coming up. IIBA has 3 core certifications. There's the entry certificate in business analysis, the certified competency in business analysis, and the certified business analysis professional. The entry certificate is for that newbie, that new grad that doesn't really have a lot of experience, maybe 2 to 3 years worth, the young 20-somethings. CCBA is for people that have maybe 3 to 5 years worth of professional experience. And then the CBAP is for those people that have about 10 years worth of professional experience. Now, just so you know, it is not a linear progression. You do not require your ECBA before you apply for the CCBA or before you apply for the CBAP. It really is dependent upon you and your professional expertise. When I first found out about IIBA, I was 15 years into my career, and then I hummed and hawed for about 2 more years before I decided to get certified. I went right for the CBAP because over my career, I had been applying all of the skills and all of the knowledge areas. I didn't know what it was called at the time, but as I became to study their theory and their approach, I said, I've been doing this. I was talking to stakeholders when I was a software developer. I was writing requirements documents as I was a software developer. I was writing data models when I was a software developer. I was doing this stuff even though I had the title software developer. So read the website, read the theory, find out which one is the best match for you, take a training course, get familiar, and then apply. If you prefer to have a specialty certification, they also have 3 specialty certifications, one in cybersecurity, one in agile analysis, and one in business data analytics. Once again, there is no prerequisite between these 3 certifications, and I'm not sure on this. I don't think you need one of those foundational certificates before you can come here. I suspect it's possible to come directly into one of these certifications if you have the appropriate experience and the appropriate knowledge. So, do you really need to be certified? That depends upon which industry you're in and what the client is actually asking for. Because I know a lot of people that are not certified, but I also know that market for non-certified people is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller as people realize that certification really does establish a certain minimum expectation of capability, and it's a global standard. This is a way to make sure that the education you have from Africa or from South America or from Europe is deemed equivalent to the education that somebody might have here from North America or from Asia. It sets that international standard to make sure that we all have the same basic capabilities. So when that survey asked business analysts, would you recommend certification to a colleague? Most of them said, yes, of course. Because to be honest, as I said, I've been doing this for a while, but it wasn't until I was actually forced to study, forced to learn the theory, and all of a sudden, it really gelled. And then it became part of who I was. And it became not just second nature. Well, it is second nature, but I also understood why I was doing it. I just didn't do it because that's what I knew was expected of me. But not just because you want that knowledge, but guess what? You'll earn a greater salary. If you have certifications, chances are you're going to get 10, 12, maybe 15% greater salary. Those of you that have an entry-level certificate can probably get 5% more, or that intermediate certificate may get 8% more, or that professional certificate may get up to 26% more. Now, of course, this is no guarantee. The job market in British Columbia is different than Alberta, is different from Toronto, is different from Halifax. The job market when you're working in the government versus private sector is different. The job market for different industries is different. But you can't expect that if you are certified, you should have a higher salary than a non-certified person. It may just give you that step in the door to actually get invited to the interview. Think about it. If you had two relatively equally qualified candidates in front of you, and one of them was certified and one wasn't, who would you invite to the interview? Here's a few other ones. Those specialty certifications, the Agile Analyst might earn 26% more, and the Cybersecurity Analyst may earn 16% more. Now, I've talked sprinkling here about your personal competencies. Not everyone can be a BA. Most people are doing analytical skills and analytical tasks during their day. But not everybody can really be effective as an analyst because there's multiple different skill sets that are required. So let's talk about that. You need to be good at analytical thinking and problem solving. When you're in a tough situation, do you try to unfold it and simplify it? Do you try to understand the business process? Do you think about, well, what's the data involved with all of this? Were you the kind of person that played with Lego bricks or wood blocks and built a structure and then took it apart and then built another structure and then built another one? Or were you the kind of person that just took it apart? Or were you the kind of person that just sat there and looked at the blocks and didn't do anything? As a BA, you need to know how to behave in certain situations. And you're going to be put in some situations that might be fairly sensitive. You need to know how to make appropriate judgment calls about what is ethical and appropriate in the given context. You need to have a good basic business knowledge. I'm not suggesting you need an undergrad or master's in business. That's not the requirement here, but you need a good general knowledge. Maybe you've been taking some courses or reading some websites. Do you have a basic understanding of marketing and finance and HR and the role they play in an organization? Do you understand the socioeconomic elements of your community? Do you understand the political elements of your community? Essentially, this is just awareness of the world around you. And are you curious about learning more? You also need basic communication skills. I'm speaking to you today. You're going to need to be able to speak to the VP, to the director, to the people on the warehouse floor, to the people in the IT. You need to know how to adapt your language to the different personalities. You also need to know how to make different types of communication. whether you're in an elicitation meeting and trying to gather information about what it is that clients need, or whether you're making a presentation to 200 at a workshop, or 5 at a team meeting, or one-on-one when you're coaching somebody about learning a new skill. And you will be interacting with a lot of different people. So can you change your mannerisms? Can you change your approach for when you're interacting with the CIO versus when you're interacting with the DBA? And you need to understand basic tools and technologies. Understanding your office suite, your email client, that's a given. Understanding when to text, when to call, how to use Teams, how to use Zoom. I think we're all living in this IT world right now. This one has kind of been really forced upon us, but it's also about learning new tools. I'm still struggling with some folks at works that we are rolling out some new software, and they're afraid to try it. Well, go in there and press a button, see what happens. They're afraid that they're going to break the system. I keep reassuring them, no, you're not going to break the system. If you're the kind of person that is curious, that is learning, that is very comfortable with technology and not afraid to learn new technology, you may be successful as a BA. Okay, so where do we go now? What are the next steps for you? You need to do a little bit of self-evaluation, some self-reflection. Look at those competencies that I just spoke about. Look at your career interests. Look at what you're trying to do and figure out if there's an alignment. If you're a coder and you only want to be a coder, that's fine. Be a coder for now. You may evolve later when you're 10, 15, 20 years down your career, or maybe not. You may continue just to be a technical person. I have met some brilliant engineers that only wanted to be brilliant engineers, and they are great at it. You also might realize that it's a little bit more techie than I want. I want to be just dealing with people all the time. That's okay. So you need to make that self-evaluation and figure out if this could be a match for you. And then you're going to want to take some training. Enroll in that project approaches class that we have coming up next. I think it's at the end of this month, and enroll in the business analysis training course that we have coming up in April. And whether or not you get those courses or whether you take them on Udemy or Learning Tree or any other, it doesn't really matter, but you do need to take some foundational training to figure out, to learn, to experiment and see if this is what you want to do. And then if it is, then you consider getting some domain expertise, practice what you've been learning. Get involved, maybe volunteering at a particular club or organization and practice business analysis. Get your very first job and practice it. Then, yeah, okay, maybe do you get some certifications? Do you get that entry certification? Do you get that certified competency? If you've been doing this a while, go for the CBAP. And then it's a continual cycle. You get more education, you apply your skills, and then you redo it year after year after year. And that allows you to build and hone and perfect and polish your skills. So that's the formal end of the presentation. I hope that was helpful, and I believe we can now open it up to questions. I will stop sharing. And Shaw, you want to take it over from here?
To open up my mic there. Yeah. So I want to for everyone that's listening right now, a lot of people is thinking about asking about recording. As you know, all our webinars are broadcast live. It is also live on YouTube as well. So later on, please go to G-TAC's YouTube channel, and you will be able to see this webinar's recording. Okay. So that's one thing. Now I also need to clarify something. So I'm just going to share my screen again. And if there's any hold on. So I got this. And I'm going to go to this. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Just give me a second here. Just want to clarify something here. Okay, good. So I mentioned earlier is there's the project approach and agile. So this course goes hand in hand with this course, the BA. So it's a complete package. Okay. So there's one that starts with on March 21st, 23rd, and 28th. It's 6 hours in 3 2-hour sessions. So you will need to take this project approach and agile course first, and then the second package, the second part of it is the business analyst, which starts on April 4th, 6th, 11th, and 13th. Okay, so that's the. I just want to clarify that, and so that we can give me a sec here. Yeah, so it's a package that you need to take. You need to take these 2 courses. Okay, so there was a question. People was asking you, are you comfortable with people trying to connect with you on LinkedIn?
Oh, yes, for sure. I have one more slide that has all my contact information, and I forgot to show
Sure,
it.
go ahead.
Yes, yeah. By all means, I will just take a moment here and I will share the screen again. By all means, you can connect with me on, send me an email directly, connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find my company page on LinkedIn. I have a professional page on Facebook. I also have a private page on Facebook. So I will direct you to my professional one. I have a YouTube channel that you can find me at. I also have some of my own online courses at progeraacademy.ca.
Okay. As well as it says here, do business analysts with no work experience have a chance to get employment opportunities in Canada?
Well, I think in that case, I would encourage you to get an ECBA certification. And that'll say that you have the basic theory and basic understanding, and then apply for entry-level positions. There are entry-level positions out there. The question is, what is your salary expectation, and is it going to be a match? I'm not sure where you've come from and what you've done, but there certainly are entry-level positions available.
Okay. I've been an SAP consultant for about 9 years now, and hoping to be in Canada soon. I want to write the CBAP certification to give me more options when looking for a job. I have been doing most of the CPAP knowledge areas as an SAP consultant. When applying for a business analyst role, will my SAP knowledge count as the same as having done business analysis? Also, what do you suggest is a better career path? Sticking to SAP or switching to BA or both?
Well, I think it depends upon your personal skill. Yes, there's a lot of need for SAP consultants. I'm sure you could come to Canada just as an SAP consultant and be fully employed, depending upon your market. But if you're tired of the technology and feeling like you want to be a little bit more strategic and a little bit more people-oriented, then by all means, switch over. I think you have a lot of different options in front of you. Getting your CBAP certification will be very helpful, regardless of which path you choose. And then you can open up that potential. If you are promoting yourself as a business analyst, as opposed to SAP, you're going to need to rewrite your resume and minimize the technical sides and maximize the interaction and the strategic analysis side of it. I actually have a YouTube video on my channel that talks a lot about sort of pivoting your career from one side to the other, and about emphasizing certain skills and minimizing other skills.
Okay, perfect. It says here, what are the necessary software a business analyst have to master, have to know?
Well, the truth of it is absolutely nothing. You can be a very effective business analyst with a piece of paper and a pencil. What's more important is your soft skills than the particular software. Like if I was talking about what you would need to know, the Microsoft Office toolkit or an equivalent, like you need to have email, Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Those are the 4 key pieces. Yes, there's all kinds of other pieces on the side, depending upon your specialty. As a business data analyst, yeah, okay, but there's lots of tools out there. There's Power BI, there's Tableau, there's SAS, there's Qlik. You can't be an expert in all of them. What's more important is that you have a good foundation in the theory and the ability to learn, because there's new tools coming every year.
Okay, good. Stephanie, we're going to release a poll very, very soon. So Stephanie, can you just stop sharing? Because I just want to put okay. So we are going to release a poll very, very soon. So please take 30, 50 seconds to complete this poll. Your feedback is extremely important to us. And also, if we will encourage you to, hold on. Okay. So while you're answering these questions, we also want you to, if there's any other, why is this not working? Hold on a sec here. Just give me a second here. So anybody else have any other questions? By all means, get in touch with us. Any other subjects, any other training courses that's of your interest, by all means, just get in touch with us, because we're always looking for feedback. Our courses are all designed based on the needs of job seekers or newcomers, job seekers. So these are very, very practical courses. So if you have any questions, by all means, send an inquiry to info@g-tac.ca, or you have any feedback about today's webinar or any other webinars, by all means, send your comments to info@g-tac.ca. And also, of course, for all upcoming events, you can go to g-tac.ca and then click on upcoming events. You'll see a list of our webinars in the month of March. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing because there's a lot of questions here, and these are great questions. Okay, I have already applied to University of Manitoba for a business analysis postgraduate diploma. I'm waiting to see if I get accepted. Does this program have value like these certifications? What would you suggest my next step is after I completed this diploma?
I don't know the program directly, but I suspect it probably has the core basic skills in it. So I think it's definitely valuable. What you may want to consider doing is just apply for one of the certifications after you've completed your diploma, just so that you have both that certification from University of Manitoba as well as the international certification. Just gives you a little bit more credibility, that everybody knows what it is that they're speaking of. Those in the industry know what the CBAP certification is and the CBAC methodology. They don't necessarily know what's happening at the University of Manitoba versus Victoria versus Dalhousie. So that gives you that standard foundation.
Okay. How would you relate to project management? And then as I'm currently working as BA for over 5 years. However, most of the responsibilities are of product manager or owner. Currently looking for opportunities in Canada with relocation assistance. So how will you, so I guess the question is, how will you relate to project management?
Well, you said 3 different words there, Shaw. There's project management, product.
Sorry. How will you relate to product management? Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So I've had that question posed a few times, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. Let me put it this way. The business analysis skill set is the foundation that product management and product owner are related to. So I think there's definitely an element that you can be awareness. I think it's an element of business analysts tend to work inside the enterprise, whereas product managers are about sort of selling a product out into the world. So you need a good awareness of what's happening in the economy, in what are client demands, customer demands outside, and how you're going to develop a product for it. There is a subtle difference. I'm still stand behind the fact that I think business analysis is the foundation for everything. So it's not going to hurt you to take those skills. But if you want to focus really on client product selling as opposed to fixing what's going on inside your organization.
Okay, yeah. And to answer some of your question is, yes, all our trainings are delivered online. So in fact, many of our training participants are people that's outside of Canada. So this is great. This is actually one of the best opportunity right now because everything is delivered online. I remember Stephanie used to have to come to our office to deliver in class. Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, but now it seems like because of this pandemic, this whole dynamic is changing now. So yes, everything is delivered online. And here's a question is, I just want, this is just side note is, yes, a lot of people is asking me, in fact, some of you already sent me a LinkedIn connection request. So unlike our guests or our previous guests is, no, I rarely accept LinkedIn connections now. Every now and then I do. The reason why I do is somebody sent me a very, very compelling message, not just like, oh, can I connect with you? And when I read that, I said, oh, okay, you know. So I am not open to accept LinkedIn connection. So if you want to connect with me, you need to come up with a very, very compelling reason why I should accept your connection. And I can tell you that right now is if you are able to convince me to accept your LinkedIn connections, then your chances are you should be able to convince over 50% of the people that you want to connect on LinkedIn. Okay. How would this, what is the process to get BA certification?
I recommend that you first apply to, well, I guess you need to take some IIBA preparation courses. There are courses out there that are specifically designed to help you pass the exam. So when you're looking for it, make sure you take a course that is about passing the exam. Get a copy of the BABOK, read the BABOK, get familiar with it, take a training course, maybe become a member of IIBA, because if you are a member of IIBA, you're going to be able to buy the BABOK a little bit cheaper. You need to apply to take the exam. Then the exam is online. They're going to want, when you're making the application, they want to have some sort of proof that you've actually done some of the things that you say. It's kind of like a CV. You have to say, well, I've done so many hours of this particular thing and so many hours of that. And you give references of various employers where you have worked. Then you write the exam at home in the comfort of your own room. Although it's kind of interesting, you have to have a laptop and maybe all by yourself. And it's a proctored exam. And then you get the feedback, you're certified, but it doesn't end there. There are professional development units. You need to keep taking training. Every couple of years have, I think it's 60 hours worth of training over the course of 3 years in order to maintain your certification.
Wow. Okay. And there's another question here. Okay. What about, are there any internship role for BA?
There certainly is. I'm not sure which companies offer them, but they do have them available.
Okay.
If you're studying through a university or a local college, they're in a good place to get you internships or co-op jobs in your as a business analyst.
Okay, yeah. So many of you is asking about the cost. So if you take each course by itself, there's a separate cost. But if you take both in together, there's a bundle price for it. So please write to song.g@ G-TAC.ca. I know I always say to myself, it's like, oh my God, there's so many G's there. So Stephanie, it's 10 o'clock now. So we have to end this because I really, really want to thank every one of you for joining us today. Thank you, Stephanie, again. This is it's a very, very educated. It's always, every time when I listen to you, it's always educated experience. I tell you, it's like people say, like, oh my God, you're too old to learn. No. I mean, trust me. Every time when you take Stephanie's course or listen to her, you will learn something new every day. And she's very good. She keep you on your toes all the time as well. So that's a good thing. Anyway, and the passion, you can hear the passion when she deliver her presentation. So Stephanie, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to close today's webinar.
Well, thank you, Shaw, for this wonderful opportunity. And I do look forward to seeing some of you, most of you, in class at the end of March. I think this is a wonderful new platform that G-TAC has put together. Looking forward to it. These are brand new courses that I'm putting together. They're based on what I've been doing with Intact for previous years, but I've restructured them, reformatted them. They're going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, it's not a dull moment. I keep it fast-paced. There's lots of theory. There's lots of exercises. You're going to walk away from this learning something for sure. And as of course, connect with me on LinkedIn, find me on Facebook, visit me on my webpage. I got some study aids for business analysts that are trying to study, project managers that are trying to study. I got the YouTube channel for you. So there's lots of ways that you can connect with me. And if you want more training, you can find it on progeraacademy.ca.
Okay, then. Well, on behalf of everyone at G-TAC and Stephanie, I want to thank everyone for watching us, and we look forward to see you in our next webinar. Bye. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon. Have a good morning. Wherever you are, have a good day. See you next time. À la prochaine.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.